Hey, welcome back to episode of Cencoroll podcast. I'm your host Juan, and as always, my friend is here with me. Hey, Trip.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing, man?
I'm so good. And you know why I'm so good?
Why is that?
We're at Anime Expo. We're learning so many things about anime, where it's from, what it is, how to watch it.
How to properly raise it, what do you feed it, what not to feed it.
So anyways, we're in a hotel room. It's a different place. We don't record here normally. It's loud as fuck, boy. It's July 4th.
Yeah, happy 4th.
Fireworks are fucking blasting.
Yeah, and they're not going to stop anytime soon, so we really got to just do this thing.
There's a billion people getting copped out there. I hear so many sirens.
You might hear a holler here or there, but hey, you just got to roll with the punches, right?
Yeah, you got to punch somebody if you feel like it. All right, man. So this is the whole deal. Anime Expo is a big-ass event for all of us nerds. Every year, it's the largest anime convention in the world.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, shitloads of announcements are made. There's a bunch of premieres of shit. We've got a couple of things to tell you about today.
Yeah, that's about right.
Where do we start with this one, though?
I mean, today was day one, so we're in Los Angeles, right? Technically, we got here yesterday, which was day 0. We got our badges, which everything went great, right?
Yeah, it was smooth as hell. Every once in a while, it's kind of hard to figure out what's going on. There's not clear directions or anything, but we got to the convention center. It was very clear where the setup was to pick up badges and everything for our press passes. So we went there. We took care of that. It was smooth as hell, dog.
There's been past years where we have to just like line up and we're in a line for 20, 30 minutes. This year was a lot more streamlined. I had an issue with my scanner not working for a bit, and then
whatever.
Kyle also came with us, and he for some odd reason his badge doesn't say Cencoroll podcast. It says Nevin and
Witt
Insurance.
So shout outs to the insurance company from our hometown,
which Kyle used to work for. So it's pretty funny. We thought that was interesting, but I mean, it's
weird.
Press pass is a press pass. So I mean, honestly, first day was smooth sailing.
Hella.
Yeah.
Well, day 0. First day.
Day 0 was, yeah. And then
we didn't go to anything. They do have some events, but they're not anything that's like anime.
It's more like
announcement
parties
type things.
Stuff,
yeah.
Like karaoke
it's just like
things.
Have fun with a bunch of people that like the same things that you like. And guess what? I already do that, so
I don't need to do that. I
I'm
mean,
good.
If you like to, that's fine.
Hell yeah, dude.
We did get to hang out with
Cool.
your friend Sho, who lives in Los Angeles.
We got to hang out with Sho and Andrew. We learned a little bit about Netflix and Cops.
Yeah, because that's where they respectively work.
Opposite, but yeah.
Andrew is
Andrew's a Netflixer.
And Sho's a cop.
It's true.
And if you're listening to this show, because you said you'd be listening to it, thanks for protecting and serving our people. Yes.
Fucking funny.
That was great. And Sho had a really shitty date, which was awesome. And he hung out with us.
Oh, God damn, love it.
Yeah, so that was day 0. Honestly, we just had a good time getting ready for the next day and kind of getting our schedules, because this is 4 days of fun, and we really have to do our best to try to cover stuff that we think is important and stuff that we want to watch also at the same time.
So first things first, in order to watch the things, we need to get inside. We have our tickets. How do we get there? Well, somehow you found a way of just fucking fumbling around and suddenly winding up inside, and they're like, "Hey, you're not supposed to be in here yet." And you're like, "Shit, I am though." And
That's
like,
I mean, what happened was, Sierra left early because she had to get she likes getting there early, right?
Yeah.
And then you and Kyle left together in the shuttle.
Yeah, we had to get our ticket, our pass things for Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution, which we'll talk about in a bit.
We will, yeah. So you guys were there earlier. I was chilling. I was like, I'll get there when I get there. I show up. I just get off my Uber, and I walk up to like somebody who's working, and I go, "Hey, man, where's the premiere and press line?" And he goes, "Premiere line's right here. Press is right here." And I kind of start pointing, and he goes, "Yeah, just go in." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, just go ahead, go in." I was like, "All right, cool." And then he goes, "Scan your thing first." So I scan it. I was like, "Thank you." And so I'm just inside. And so I call you guys. I don't know where the fuck you guys are. And you guys are still outside.
Like way the fuck back in line.
So I don't fucking know. I mean, obviously the guy didn't know what he was doing, which happens every year with the Anime Expo, right? You get new people working and they don't really have the right information and they just kind of fumble their way through their job.
Yeah, and it's always day one. It's never day zero that there's like the big issues because there aren't that many people. But on day one, it's like, okay, we need to line up somewhere. Where's the line? They're like, it's over there. You go and you're like, hey man, where's the line? They point you back the other way and you're like, that's where I just was. They told me. It's like, yeah, I know. Just go that way and then turn here and you're there. And you're like, cool. You go back over, you line up where you're supposed to be, then the line shifts 3 times, and then you're like, I'm not even in the right line anymore. Yeah. And what would have been more beneficial this year is if they had like tape, like they always have every year. Line up on the tape, stand on the line. We got to make sure that we're organized here. This year it was like, just fucking go over here. Good luck.
Day one is always a clusterfuck, though. We know that, right?
Yeah.
Luckily, we do have the press passes now, and we do. It's a lot easier to get into stuff. But for people who have the 4-day passes or the 1-day pass, it's a hassle. I mean,
it's really rough. Honestly,
it's hard to figure out where you're supposed to go.
So I'm glad that at least we can report on the events that we were able to go to for the people that may have missed them. So first up, I was going to go to the WIT Studio panel.
Yeah. What studio does Attack on Titan, fucking
Mage's Bride,
Cabanera the Iron Fortress,
stuff like that. Anyways, didn't really. It was way too much of a hassle to do that after all this back and forth stuff. So I joined you for the panel that you were going to go to, which is the Mappa, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, Mappa. They make great studio. Stuff, right? They make Dororo, fucking.
That's it.
Zombieland Saga,
Yuri on Ice,
in this corner of the world. Things that for sure I enjoy and you've enjoyed
lots
too.
Lots of rad ass shit.
So we're really excited to see what Mappa has to offer.
It turns out that they just want us to rewatch Zombieland Saga because they were like, check out this trailer of all of our shit, and you're like, yeah, that's like a lot of good shit. They had something else on there that I think is a new show that we haven't seen yet. That they didn't talk about. Anyways, Zombieland Saga. Hey, you guys know it? Check out this little trailer for it.
And they brought out the CEO, the CEO of Mappa, the director of Zombieland Saga, and I think the producer of Zombieland Saga. Yeah. And then they just kind of did the generic. What was it like working on this? And they go, it was a great honor working on this. It was so much fun. It was difficult, but it was really worth it. And then they asked the next person the same thing, and they kind of answered the same question.
Yeah.
And it felt really. I don't know, it was kind of boring. And you know what I was telling you too? In the pamphlets they give us, like the actual like paper pamphlets, people were already lining up in that specific hall for Dr. Stone that was at noon.
Yeah.
And then I would look at the paper pamphlets and there was nothing about Mappa at 10:30. And then I would look at my app and it would say Mappa at 10:30. So it obviously meant that like Mappa must have added last minute or something.
Something like that. I don't know.
And it kind of felt that way, man. They showed up and they just played videos of Zombieland Saga and then said, let's talk about
these. Check out the very first scene in the show. Yeah. Man, it always gets me. Hey, the climax of the second episode, the rap battle, let's watch that too. How'd you guys feel about that? Hey, director, did you like when you made it? Yeah, we made it because we thought it was going to be good. And like this particular animator came in who normally does a bunch of sports anime and shit. Yeah. And he made the scene feel more alive. Oh, cool. Let's watch episode 7. Like, oh, okay. So instead of it being like the description said, more of a studio kind of panel, it was just like, check out Zombieland Saga. Very weird.
Which I mean, and you're a fan of Zombieland Saga, and you still were kind of bored by this. You're like, why would I want to do that, right? I came from Mappa, and I got just a bunch of Zombieland Saga.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man, I love it. I wanted to go to an event that they're having this year. Decided it's probably not the best. There's other stuff that I could go and do instead because Zombieland's kind of over, but they're really pushing it this year for some reason. Yeah. So I would love a Zombieland figure or something, but
they should push Dororo or something.
Yeah, man. I don't know, something more relevant.
Banana fish. Just make banana fish.
Yeah. Anyways, so nothing really happened with that. That was kind of a wash. What we missed at the Studio Wit panel was that they announced a new anime called Great Pretender. It's going to be 24 episodes long. Like we said before, Wit makes all these amazing, like fucking awesome animation shows. Just gorgeous. The Ancient Mage's Bride was not for me.
It was boring as fuck, but it looked really pretty.
So good. Cabanera the Iron Fortress was pretty damn cheesy, but I had a great time with it. And honestly, dog, Attack on Titan is like one of the best shows of all time. Yeah. So I'm down with Wit.
It's cool that Wit's announcing something new because for people who don't know, we got announced that Attack of Titan's last season, the 4th season, is going to be next year, right? 2020.
Yeah, it's 2020.
And that's it. That's going to be all of it.
I think it's like 25 episodes or something like that. More. Yeah.
So I mean, Wit's going to have some free time on their hands, and they're going to make this show that they're just announced, and I'm excited for it. I have no idea, but Wit rarely fucks me over, and one thing they always produce is at least a really slick looking thing. So
true,
cool. That would have been cool to see that, but we were stuck at Mappa.
Also, news that came out like in the middle of the night. The My Hero movie, the next one that's coming out, is called Heroes Rising, and it releases on December 20th.
Yeah, I'm in Japan. I'm assuming.
I'm assuming too.
Yeah, that's cool. We'll probably see it next year at next Anime Expo.
Yeah, who knows, man? But I'm stoked about that. That's cool that they already kind of have ideas going on for.
Yeah, I mean,
My Hero stuff.
That movie, like we've talked about, is a lot of fun. It's for sure not like a must watch, and it's not really integral to the plot or anything. But it's cool to see your boys out there.
It's fun, man.
So I'm gonna for sure watch that whenever we get that chance.
Yeah, man. And then we went to go see Penguin Highway, which was presented by 11 Arts. It started out pretty cool, actually. She was like, "Hey, well, actually, let's go back to the organization at Anime Expo." We were like, "Hey, where's the press lineup for this?" And they were like, "Oh no, you could just go in.
Go right in." They said, and we're like, "Right in?" And they go, "Yeah, just." Go in.
All of the doors were closed.
And while we were walking, I literally hear the guy that just told us to walk tell somebody else, like, yeah, when you hear press, yeah, just tell them to go in or whatever. It doesn't even matter. Like, I heard them say that. I go, I'm pretty sure that's not right, but okay. So we go right in, and they're playing the movie already.
Yeah, and we're like, all right, maybe they're just doing some testing stuff. I'll just play around on my phone. Like, I'm thinking, like, whatever, we'll just get our seats.
Be super cash,
yeah. And they were like, hey, you guys aren't supposed to be in here yet. And we're like, our bad, man. We were just told to come in. So sorry. We'll see you in a little bit.
We're press, and then they go, okay, cool, line up here. We'll get you in a bit. And they did, which was nice.
Yeah.
But fucking, come on, guys. Way to drop the ball.
Long story short, super easy to get into. It was great. Pretty small event, actually, which I was surprised about.
Yeah, we've been in that same, this was the Diamond Room at the
Marriott Hotel.
And they set it up differently this year, right? So it's smaller. It's facing a different wall now.
Yeah, it's not a giant room. Instead, they have it kind of blocked off into separate rooms.
I was kind of worried. I was like, man, I hope everybody wants to watch this.
Because we've had issues in this room with like Trigger and stuff.
Yeah.
Fooly Cooley, things like that.
It's hard to get in to that room or whatever. But this year, I mean, after we got to sit in pretty quickly, and then the room filed in, and I kept like turning around, and then when the movie ended, I for sure wanted to peek back. There was a lot of empty seats there. Like, there was for sure a lot of space.
It was kind of weird though. I mean, for me, I saw the trailer for this, I don't know, a long ass time ago, and I was like, that looks so cool.
Yeah, it looked wild.
So every once in a while, I would look up the trailer and be like, fuck, I can't wait until we get to watch Penguin Highway.
Yeah.
And didn't know what it was about because they didn't have an English trailer like with subtitles or anything. Yeah. So I would just watch it and be like, that animation looks rad. I don't know what's going on. Looks cool. Overall, without going into too much detail with the movie, I had a really good time with it. It felt like it took inspiration from a lot of other things, and it did some cool stuff with it.
Yeah. We don't want to spoil this one because this movie, they did announce at the end of the show that like, hey, it's getting a Blu-ray release, it's getting like a box set release, you can go out and purchase it. In my opinion, I think it's worth the buy. I think it's a really good, solid flick. I don't know the studio. I want to say it's like A1 and Cloverworks or something like that because it looked really clean, but I couldn't tell you. I don't
think it is, but yeah, I don't fucking know.
It looked great.
It's one of those ones that only does movies.
Yeah. It looked really nice. And yeah, like I said, we went into it not knowing anything. We go look at the trailer on YouTube, and it's like a chick throwing a soda can that turns into a penguin,
and you're like, yeah,
and there's like water everywhere, and like
there's a kid or two,
and you go, what the fuck's going on? And that's what we went into, and we had no clue what we were watching, and by the end of it, I really enjoyed it. It felt very, I don't know, it felt really refreshing, And by the way, really beautiful. I liked the soundtrack.
Cool. Yeah.
My only issue, I think, was, and it's not even on the movie's fault. It was just the sound system wasn't set up the best.
Oh, yeah.
And there was times where, like, some of the audio would come in clearer on one side or the other, or the dialogue would come in super loud. And I go,
it's whatever.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes,
So,
it's
yeah,
fine.
Good movie. I'd check it out. Don't want to spoil it. When it gets a US premiere or whatever, like a theatric release, I think then Trip and I will do a bigger review on this specific movie, right?
Yeah, and it's kind of like a fantasy sci-fi type thing.
To give you
I
like
would
a feels.
say, it feels a lot like children's imagination. Mm-hmm. And these kids think that they're like geniuses. Essentially, they are, but whatever.
Yeah, they're just really.
It was hard for me to kind of
understand who they are.
Yeah, for
Connect
a little
with
bit,
them.
I was like, okay, I can't tell if this is just like the kids are being like super creative,
or if it's like a real thing that's going to happen.
Yeah,
I think the kids were just really smart, and I was not a smart kid growing up.
No, it just felt so fake.
It felt very. I was telling Kyle that it was kind of like a Stranger Things kind of vibes. Gave me that kind of feel, but like not as dark or whatever as Stranger Things would be.
Mm-hmm. It took inspiration in my mind from the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2, doing little adventures around Twilight Town, being like, oh, what's that mystery orb at the waterfall? And oh, they say that every time that you go down here, then some crazy stuff. Anyways, it felt like that, of this like, hey, in the middle of the forest, there's a silver moon. It makes you sick.
Yeah,
I mean, let's go investigate.
Our main character is just this little kid. I think they said he's in 4th grade, which makes him like 9, right?
Yeah.
And he kind of starts off the movie saying, hey, man, I'm really smart, and I'm probably going to be like really smart when I grow up, and people are going to probably want to marry me because I'm that great.
I love boobs.
And I love boobs. And it's like...
That was the character.
And he was a lot of him, being really smart and doing smart things and, outwitting people. And I don't know. I did enjoy it. I would watch it again. But
it was fun.
I'm glad we finally got to see it because, we've seen that trailer for fucking so long. And to finally get answers and be like, huh, so that's Penguin Highway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good job on them for fucking finally bringing it out here.
All right. Quickly, I'm going to talk about some shit that we didn't experience at Anime Expo today, but a lot of cool stuff was going on. Something that's kind of out of left field is that the producer of Dark Souls, the fucking video game that everyone knows, wants to make a Metal Wolf Chaos anime with Guillermo del Toro.
Dude, everybody wants to work with Guillermo del Toro.
I'm like, oh shit, okay.
Like all the Japanese people is like, hey man, it would be really cool working with this fucking Guillermo del Toro guy. Like,
all right,
like
cool.
he's on everybody's radar.
So that happened pretty early this morning, and then there's a new Akira anime coming out. Yeah, which is gonna be something that finally we're gonna review Akira, compare it with the movie. We're gonna do all that shit.
Bring our boy from fucking he's in LA, right? Or unless he moved. Yeah. So Duncan, if you're listening, you're coming back, boy, because Duncan really wanted us to review Akira with him, and he asked us if we have, and it's a classic. We get it, right? That was a big one, but we don't. But we don't review things unless we fucking have to. And if this is happening, boy, we have to review it.
Yeah, so that's pretty wild. In addition, Akira's 4K remaster has been announced. It's going to come out in spring in Japan in the year 2020. So it's coming up. That's pretty rad. You guys like that? I like it.
Yeah.
And fucking, what's the last Akira thing? Oh yeah. So the live action movie is being directed by
Taika Waititi.
Thank you, Taika Waititi. And he has announced that the whole gang is going to be Asian.
A full Asian cast?
Yeah, a full Asian cast, which is fucking awesome. So stoked about that.
Yeah, that's great because we've talked about it in the past, and they've wanted to whitewash it or whatever.
Yeah, it's a matter of it just doesn't feel as genuine.
Yeah.
It feels like it's a whole different thing as soon as that happens. Sometimes, not all the time.
Yeah, sometimes it can be good, but...
Because, they're like remaking Little Mermaid, and now Ariel's going to be black, and people are freaking out. It's like, no, that's fine. That's fine. That's totally fine. Because... it wasn't a cultural thing. Like, mermaids are just mermaids, so it doesn't matter whatever race they are because they're mermaids.
Yeah, that's very true. We also saw the Aladdin movie that was supposedly more like.
Did we?
I didn't see. I didn't see it. Did you see it? We as a people, the people have seen the new Aladdin trailer.
People have seen,
and they try to be more, respectful to like the ethnicity and races that are being portrayed. And I know that Mulan's supposed to have the live action Mulan's supposed to have like a more Asian cast too.
Yeah, interesting.
So that's super cool. So I think this is great. Taika Waititi. I'm pretty sure he's like Indian or something.
Close.
Kiwi. He's a Kiwi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like not even close. So,
he can be a Kiwi and still be like, he can be from New Zealand and be Indian at the same time.
Sure.
I want to make that clear. It could happen.
Yeah, it could happen.
But yeah, so I mean, why he has no fucking ties to anybody to be like, hey man, the cast has to be American. He wants to make a great fucking movie, so he's gonna cast.
He's gonna do it.
He's gonna cast. So I'm excited to see that. Everything he does so far that I've seen, I've enjoyed.
And then so we didn't get to see that information, that news and whatnot. Instead, you went to go see Cencoroll Connect, and I went to go see the premiere of Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. Your event started before mine, so I want you to talk about yours.
So this is something that got announced a couple months ago. They're saying, "Hey man, Cencoroll Connect's coming out. You guys have all been waiting for it. It's finally here. It's been 10 years." And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But luckily, they also told us, hey, by the way, with the world premiere of Cencoroll Connect, which is the sequel to Cencoroll or whatever, we're going to play the original one and then play the new one right after it. It's like, cool. So I felt like I don't have to try to hunt this thing down. By the way, I wouldn't know where to find it. It's got to be somewhere. I don't know who has it.
The internet.
The internet, probably, yeah.
You can find it online.
Yeah. On fucking...
On your AOL browser.
On the ether, bro.
Yeah.
Check out fucking Napster. Maybe they got it.
Definitely on Napster.
Yeah, fucking LimeWire. What's the other one? There's one more.
Kazaa.
Got it. Killed it. Never heard of that one.
Never heard of Kazaa. Damn.
No. So I went into this not knowing anything about it. Kyle went with me. And they showed again the first one, which was, I want to say, was like less than 30 minutes long. It felt more like a long episode or something, essentially like an OVA. They called it a feature film, I think. They said that, which I'm like,
but it was like 37 minutes. So yeah.
And it was for sure like dated, like with the animation that it was done. Like the style was older, the animation quality was older, but it was really good. It held up to fucking to anything. Like the story was really great. You know, like I can't.
What was it about?
So it's about this like guy. Well, actually, it's about a guy and a girl. And they do stuff like butt stuff. No, it's about this girl who runs into a boy, and this boy seems to have like a friend that's like a monster, and he's kind of looks like a smooth round baby with like fucked up teeth and like really shifty eyes, and the monster shapeshifts into things that he wants. Like he can turn into a car or a bike or scooter or like a cannon or whatever. Neat. And I guess the monster and the boy have this connection, and then this other monster shows up with another boy, and this boy wants to take that kid's monster, and the girl kind of, I guess, finds her way into like their lives or whatever, this situation, right? And I think the boy's kind of beat up, and so he's like, I can't keep fighting, and the girl says, hey, let me control the monster, and I'll take care of it. And so he does, and then the girl's in charge of fighting this other monster, and that's kind of what it's about, right?
Neat. Yeah.
It was like I said, this first one that I'd never before. It was interesting. It was good. I mean, obviously the animation wasn't to par, with today's standards, but it was still good. And to find out later that the guy who made this, like the guy who wrote it and directed it or whatever, animated, did all the audio almost completely by himself. And it felt like that. It felt like someone's like passion project. Someone's like senior thesis or whatever. They go, hey, I want to make this story, and they did it. So kudos to him. This same guy then got to do the next one, right, which is Cencoroll Connect, and it's like a sequel from the first one. We get introduced to more characters because in the first one, it's a very like minimal cast. There's like bad guy, the main guy, the girl, and then like the girl has a friend, and that's about everybody you see. And this one, we see two new characters. We see all the characters from the last one, and it's been I don't want to say it's been like that's not like the very next
time
day,
has passed,
but it's been like
very short period.
It's been a short period of time. I want to say maybe like a few months, like a couple months or something, because we see the devastation from the last fight in the original one to now or whatever, and the story continues, and we get to meet like these two characters who are a part of some sort of organization that kind of collect these monsters and keep an eye on them and only fight the ones that are like causing harm to people or have special powers, or that people are being controlled by people who are doing bad things with it. Like the guy from the first one who came and fought up, the fucking main character. So that's what the second one's about. Okay. Now this should be out soon somewhere. They're talking about giving it like a premiere. So again, I don't want to spoil how this one ends. The other one is super old. It's from 2009. So like, I don't care. Like, there's some really cool things in this. In the second one, the audio, I feel like the music, fucking killer. They were telling us about like after that was premiered, how the guy did it. Usually, what a director will do is like he will go to the musician that's doing the soundtrack, and he'll give him like, okay, from this part, I want like a sad music, and here I want like happy music, and here I want he kind of does that. I guess someone suggested this kind of out there musician to this guy, and he said, "Yeah, I'll do it." And so the way this musician did it is like he just looked at the storyboard and then he just kind of winged it. It's like, okay, cool. Around here, this should be sad, and here it should be happy. And so like obviously, I feel like the director is probably like, I don't know, man. Like that's not how I would. So he did it backwards, right? Instead of like telling him how to do. He's like, I'll just do it from what I think the way you want it, right? It worked out great in my opinion. Like I really liked the soundtrack.
That's cool. That's good.
And I thought it was super interesting that the guy's just like, yeah, man, the head of our studio suggested you, and so we're gonna go with you, and I think he killed it. Clean animation, I think interesting story. It has a really nice like feel to it. Like this could be some sort of anime or something bigger than it is. Like the lore that is in here. Yeah. There's more to see. Like
feels like it's a whole world.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it for sure felt that way because after there's a cut and then there's an after credits thing. And I can't even really spoil it because it's just like they just introduced a new character and this character also has a monster. And so we go, cool. There's obviously somebody else in this world who is going to be a part of the story someday, right? Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I thought it was great. Everybody really enjoyed it. Nice. And then so after that, we had a Q&A with the director, the guy who like made the original one, and then I guess by the second time around, this guy got a producer now, and the producer for this thing, and they asked him questions, and I think some of the coolest stuff that we got to learn is that this took 10 years to make, and then I don't know how long it took the first one to be made, but I'm assuming it also took a long time. So they asked the guy that created it. He was like, "Hey man, it's been 10 years. We saw obviously the after credits thing. So what more is there to come from Cencoroll or whatever? Like what can we see? What can we expect? Yeah, like obviously there's more. What can you tell us? You obviously have more help now." And the guy goes like, without fucking missing a beat, he's just like, "Well, she also asked him, like, what are you doing next? What's your next thing?" And he goes, "Well, right now, I'm doing this. I'm doing the press junket for like all of like for this thing, right? So I'm doing a lot of interviews kind of like this, right? Yeah. Because I had to go back to Japan. I had to do some more of those. I had to finish like the box set for like when we released it Blu-ray and DVD or whatever. And we were trying to get it to some, what's it called? Some, maybe, fucking have it premiere in more studios than it already did because they had a small premiere in Japan. And they were talking about, I'll put this in real quick. They're talking about, hey, how successful was it? So it aired in Japan last week. Like they premiered last week in Japan. So this is like a week later it aired here. And the amount of money it made in the box office and like its popularity, it's been ranked. It's twice. It's 2 on both of them. So popularity, number 2, box office money made over the week, number 2. And then it goes, because Spider-Man Far From Home also came out. Oh, yeah. And then they go, so, what can you do? And like, that's still really good, right?
That's damn good, yeah.
Okay, so the guy said, yeah, so, I'm going to go back, have to finish all this stuff. He goes, and then, Cencoroll 3 has been greenlit. Like, they said, we want another one. And everybody kind of cheers, like, yay. And he goes, but, it was like, so I have to start working on that. But I also have, like, my other job, my day job where I draw manga. So, going to focus on that and, I'll get around to Cencoroll when I get around to it. Damn, yeah. And everybody's just like, cool, I guess see you in 10 years, homie. So there's going to be a third one, which is great. I think, I don't know what studio worked on this, but I would say this would make a good fucking show. Like, it looks like it would. If it was done by if it's held by the right studio, I think the story's good enough. It's interesting enough.
Who would you give it to?
Cloverworks.
All right, me too.
Yeah, right?
I haven't seen it, but I would give it to Cloverworks.
I think Cloverworks might have worked on this, actually, honestly. Madhouse too. Madhouse can fuck shit up.
Yeah.
JC Staff, go suck a dick. Don't touch this JC
Holy
Staff.
Shit. Okay.
Give it to Wit. They're free.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I had a really good time. I really enjoyed it. There was a raffle also. My number was 6 numbers away from the actual number that won.
Poof.
It's kind of bummed, but it is what it is. Had a real good time. If you do get a chance to see Cencoroll, Connect, if it comes near you, I recommend checking it out. It's not that long. I felt like it was around that 40-minute mark. I mean, if you've seen the first Cencoroll, if you're an old head of anime and you've been around the block, hey man, and you didn't know there's a sequel, there's a sequel. I mean, I feel like
hell yeah, let's
it wasn't
do it.
announced all that well. But yeah, good time, good watch. Nothing more I can say without actually spoiling anything. If we ever do get a premiere, we're gonna obviously spoil the shit out of it.
God, so jealous.
Sorry, dog.
So, Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. If you guys have seen Pokemon the first movie, I don't have any story to update you with. It's the exact same movie. They didn't change like a goddamn thing about it. Other than this is the first fully CG Pokemon film. It looks like they took Pokemon Let's Go, cranked up the animation by just like a touch.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, let's just make Pokemon the first movie again. Hell yeah.
I can't remember. I don't think I've seen Go. Are they like proportional and stuff, or do they got like big heads?
I mean, you know.
Yeah.
It's very stylized.
Yeah,
but
so, okay.
it's not like cartoon goofy.
I
it's
honestly,
just like, you know.
I honestly didn't know that this was going to be in that style. I thought this was going to be reminiscent of like those fucking new Pokemon movies where like, you know, Ash goes sees the ho-ho or whatever.
Oh, no, this isn't that shit. No, this is the old school. This is what we've already seen for years. You got Jesse, you got James. They're doing their hijinks. Meowth makes most of the jokes.
That's right, man.
Meowth is doing a good thing. People fucking loved Meowth, let me tell you. It's got everything. It's got Pikachu slapping Pikachu. Mewtwo freaks out, and then he's just like, never mind, we cool. Thanks for crying, boys. And he pieces out to the heavens, because that's what fucking happens.
Well, tell us about the
honestly,
experience,
Brock makes the best joke. He brings up, he's trying to woo a lady, and he brings up that he makes the best jelly donuts, which if you've ever seen classic Pokemon, you might know that every once in a while, 4Kids, the Canadian dub, and I don't know, producer, well, whatever the fuck they do, they go ahead and put some localization in there. So instead of it being like a rice ball's drop down a hill, they animate a sandwich over the rice ball, like rolling down the hill or whatever. And one of the things they did was a rice ball with seaweed on it. They called it a jelly donut because, you know, it's filled with like pickled plum, but people don't know what that is in the United States, especially children.
So it's just a white donut with jelly in it.
Jelly donut.
Except it's actually a rice ball with like,
yeah, and like it looks, it's a rice ball.
Yeah,
but they just call it a jelly donut.
Are they the triangle ones too?
Yeah.
Wow, they killed it. So it was like,
so anyways, this is a callback to that, and I was like, good shit. Thanks, guys. That was funny. You didn't need to put that in there.
This made it all worth it, you said.
Yeah, something like that. It was fine, man. I don't know. The animation was all right. The water looked really good. The people looked kind of weird. Honestly, their mouth movements weren't fantastic. It's like you could go back to Final Fantasy Spirits Within or Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. And I think both of those have like similar quality, except for the water. As far as like the models and the movements and everything, because I remember watching Spirits Within and being like, holy shit, this is fucking incredible. And then I watched Advent Children and was like, I didn't know what I was talking about. This is fucking incredible. And this whole Pokemon thing felt like it would have been incredible
if they just would have done it differently.
Yeah. So anyways, afterwards, it was fine. It was whatever. There was a Q&A session afterwards. And the moderator guy, who was also the translator, asked them each a few questions. They had up the director, the producer, and the voice of Ash, which is Satoshi in Japanese. So they kept calling her Satoshi and whatnot. Anyways, asked them each questions like, just what was your experience working on this, and why'd you decide to, you know, do that, and how do you feel being in Los Angeles and whatnot. And actually, I like this. The voice of Ash, she said that she actually was really wanting to come to Los Angeles, because one of the first things she worked on was the Japanese dub of Beverly Hills 90210.
What?
Yeah.
What a throwback, bro.
I know, right? So she's always wanted to come to Beverly Hills, and she did.
She lived her dream.
And she was stoked. So that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And the other ones are like, yeah, I've lived here for 15 years. So
it's great to be
cool.
home. Yeah.
And the other one's like, yeah, I've been back and forth between LA and Japan for a while, like few years. Mm-hmm. It's just what I've been doing. So it's cool being here, I guess. It was just weird. I don't know. The questions were all a little bit funky.
It's like ill-prepared question. Like, hey, how's it like? I mean, maybe if it was like their first time in Japan, I mean, in the United States, it'd be a better question. But you go, you didn't know I lived here, so how's it feel in LA? Great, I live here all the time.
Yeah, this is my home. And then they also announced, hey, for anyone that still plays Pokemon Go and can raid with people from July 10th to July 31st, there are going to be armored Mewtwo raids. So you can go ahead and hit up a bunch of boys and fucking catch that. It's a level 5 raid, just in case y'all wanted to know.
Yo, I still play Pokemon Go. I think I'm going to have Sierra put up my Pokemon Go like QR code on the Instagram.
Yeah.
I need some friends, bro. I need some gifts. That is bullshit. No one's gifting me shit.
You don't deserve it.
Oh, it's fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big piece of news, right? Pokemon Go fucking Metal Mewtwo.
Yeah, and then there were a couple of questions afterwards, like, hey, I really appreciate you guys being here. I've worked on Pokemon. I don't remember the guy's name. He didn't say his name. He just said he's worked on Pokemon. And he's like, why? This is the first Japanese showing of anything Pokemon in the United States. Do you guys plan on having the TV show or more movies or something like that premiered in Japanese, or at least like accessible in Japanese? Mm-hmm. And they were like, yeah, I look forward to that. Cool. Like, oh, that's cool. That's actually some pretty cool news. Because I've definitely, not recently, but in the past, I was like, I wonder if I could get Digimon with the original voices.
Yeah, like, because we only saw it dubbed, right? Like, that's how we grew up watching it.
And I know that I felt that same way about Pokemon, but to a lesser extent.
You know what? I think I want to say there's Digimon Frontier, which is like the third one, the one that I grew up watching. I mean, I also saw the original one, but the one I watched all the way through was the third one. I want to say they're on Crunchyroll, and I want to say that they have like the Japanese version.
I totally believe it.
Yeah. Because so it has to be doable, man. You got to get it out there.
I mean, I have watched the original Digimon.
All of it?
It was just really hard. Not all of it, because it's not good.
Well, yeah.
As an adult, you're like, oh man, nostalgia. Like as a kid, I fucking ate that up. It was one of the first animes that I had ever seen. Because Pokemon was like an ongoing story and it was rad. But Digimon was an ongoing story with dynamic characters. And it's like, oh shit, their parents are divorced and they live in different homes. He's adopted. And like, what's going on? Oh, Kyrie's doing some cool stuff. Whoa, this show's awesome.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Man, Sora's hot.
Whoa,
anyways,
hey.
What?
Sora's, she's underage.
Not when I was underage. She was of age.
Good call, man.
Yeah. Long story short, they are going to bring some more Japanese Pokemon dubs to the United States. So that's pretty cool. Other questions were, why did you decide to make a CG Pokemon movie opposed to redoing it animated, like 2D animation? And like, what was your inspiration and thought process, and how did you handle things differently than you did before? And they were just kind of like, yeah, I mean,
it's cheaper, probably.
We just did it. We could finally make something, and we made it. It was a really weird answer, which I feel like it was kind of just like, you know what, man? We have Pokemon. Let's go. People fucking loved that. So you know what? Why don't we do something in the same style that they still love? Because Pokemon Let's Go was essentially just, hey, you remember old Pokemon? Let's do the same thing, but a little bit different. This was like, hey, remember the old Pokemon movie? Why don't we just do that again, but like a little bit different? So
great time.
The final question, which I also really enjoyed, was somebody thanked them for more than half of their question, and then went into in the original Pokemon, the first movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back or whatever, there was apparently a cut scene with an adult Misty with her child, and that scene was cut, and he wanted to know if that made any impact on Pokemon going forward, or if there were any plans or whatever. And they were like, what was your question again, man? And he repeated it, and they're like, oh, you know what? That wasn't Misty. That was somebody else.
Yeah, it also got
looked
cut,
like Misty.
right? It also got cut, you dumb bastard.
Cut.
So how did it affect it? Not at all. It wasn't
just
in there.
Interesting. So then after the Q&A, the voice of Ash went ahead and sang a Pokemon theme song in Japanese, which I was not very familiar with at all. No. It's just like a new one, I think. I don't know.
How was it?
It was fine. But the guy next to me was a super Pokemon fan, so he knew every word. He was singing along. He was having the best fucking time. And I was happy for people like him that are able to go to this event and fucking loved the movie, loved the singing. For me, I'm a big Pokemon fan as far as the games go, and I have that whole nostalgia factor. But I've also followed Pokemon for goddamn years and played all the new shit, not the remakes or anything like that. I've played a couple of remakes. Long story short, she sang, people had a great time, and then the moderator wanted us to be a part of Pokemon history, so we took a video and a picture of us hanging out with Pikachu and the voice actress for Ash, and we all were there.
You guys made history, dog.
We made history.
You guys fucking, you are nice to that shit.
Yeah, let's make some Pokemon history. And I'm like, the fuck are you talking about right now?
Cool, man. I mean, yeah, that was it. I mean, that was...
It was fine. It was fun. Overall, the first day, it was a lot of figuring out what's going on in the morning, finding the best places to like go, leaving the expo, getting in the expo, like where are the good hang spots, trying to figure that out. Because every year it's different. There's always a different protocol. Everything's arranged different.
There's always like the same stuff, but sometimes they shift it. This time they did a weird thing where they closed off this street next to Staples Center, so you have to like go on the street to like go to the Marriott, which fucking blew my mind because this is after we left for Mappa, right? And we're going to go see Penguin Highway. The the sidewalk was so fucking cluttered with people who were just trying to get in. I was like, how is this possible? We also got like an email saying, hey, by the way,
passes are done.
4-day passes have completely sold out. Like it's the fastest that 4-day passes ever sold out for Anime Expo. There's still day passes, and there's still there's one more, another different type of pass or whatever. But the 4-day pass, fucking gonzo. So there's so many people here this year. It's insane.
It's nuts. Honestly.
And I think blocking off that street was a huge mistake. And we'll find out if they keep that next year. Because guess what? I really,
or even tomorrow. I don't know, man.
You think so? Yeah, you think
who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. Fucking Anime Expo, ever changing, you know?
It really is. It's a dynamic fucking event. So anyways, it was a lot of fun today. We don't have the biggest news, but like there was some cool stuff. I really want everyone to check out Penguin Highway. It was rad.
Yeah, and if you can see Conqueror Connect or whatever, anywhere, check it out. I think it's really good.
And then tomorrow, just a heads up, what we're going to record and talk about. In the morning, we're trying to decide if we want to do panels. So I'm not going to go ahead and tell you we're going to do anything definitively for the morning. But we will be going to Pony Canyon, their industry panel. They have some like Kyoto Animation stuff that they released. They're more of a distributor.
Yeah, but that's interesting. It's the first time last year was the first time we actually got to see them. And
yeah, it was very like personal, I think. It was also like, check out this trailer of stuff.
They also gave away some pretty cool shit. We won a drawing that we gave away last year, so maybe we'll win something else this year we can give away.
Yeah, hell yeah. And then we're going to go to the A1 Pictures panel, which also is in the same room. It's going to be great because we love A1 Pictures and whatnot. And big event time, drum roll everyone, Promare is going to premiere. It's the Studio Trigger movie that we've all been waiting for. So we're going to check that shit out, and it's going to be dope. And then Mega 64, I'm going to go to that at night. They're not really anime, but if you guys haven't seen the Mega 64 Dragon Ball summary, what the fuck storyline is it?
Cell Saga.
Yeah, the Cell Saga. Mega 64 Cell Saga. Check that out. It's really fucking good. If you like Dragon Ball or if you know a little bit about Dragon Ball, you should check it out. It's really fucking funny. Anyways, they're going to be at Anime Expo, and I'm going to go check that out. So, Pony Canyon, A1, Promare, and Mega 64. But what are you doing before Pony Canyon? We're going to the exhibit hall, and we're actually going to check some shit out. I'm looking for figures. Made in Abyss.
Okay.
Looking for Made in Abyss. I'm looking for some manga. I want to read Land of Lustrous. Yeah. After seeing the show, I want there to be more, but I'm not going to be patient about it. And I don't really care about the animation. Parts of it look fucking good. Other parts don't look that great. The story was
the most interesting part. And the characters,
for sure.
Right? So.
Story and characters. And so I want to read that shit real bad. What are you looking for?
I've decided that I'm going to buy some shirts because I need some new anime shirts. I don't think I'm not doing any figures this year. I'm also not doing any posters for like Artist Alley. We've talked about that, right? Mm-hmm. It's just I feel like I have a bunch of posters and I'm cool right now. What I do look for every year are these specific action figures for Ultimate Muscle. There's like I kind of came upon them 3 years ago. I bought one, and then the next year,
the rest is history.
The next year, I found two. And I looked into them since, and I found out there's like 20 of them. I think around 20 of them.
Yeah.
I've collected about 7, maybe. So I have like a list of the ones I already have. So every year I just kind of keep looking for those, and if I see them, I just kind of buy them on site. I don't care what the price is. I just kind of that's what I want.
It's such an uncommon thing, and they don't cost like a ton.
No, I think I got last year. I got like 2 of them for like $110 or something like that.
That's fine.
I was like, great. I'm not gonna buy these anywhere else. I'm always looking for those. I'm gonna get a couple T-shirts, I think. And then the thing I'm really, really excited for is last year I ran into an artist on the exhibition hall, and not on like the Artist Alley, and he was just kind of drawing stuff, and I think I was like lost or something, like I lost Sierra or misplaced you, and I was like, So I just watched him draw for a bit. And then I kind of talked to him, and I was like, "Hey, so what are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh yeah." He says three of his friends decide to share the booth there. They cost more money, but at least they get to do live drawings there, and people. It's not as saturated as the Artist Alley. And he goes, I was like, "Cool. Like, how much do they cost?" He goes like, "Oh," he goes, "The way I do it is like I only draw at expos." He goes, "I go to like this convention. I go to one in Hawaii. I go one over here, right?" And he has a Patreon, and that's how he kind of like lives off stuff. But he doesn't do like open submissions. He goes, so I don't have any, time to draw them. He's like,
yeah.
He goes, next year if you come by or whatever, if you're going, he said, if you're going to Hawaii Expo, I was like, I'm not going. He said, let me know. So I hit him up. I think sometime last week. He's in Australia, and I said, hey man, I met you last year. I really want to get something done from you. What are your prices? Are you have anything open? He said, yep. He literally like within like 2 minutes of me emailing him right back goes, hey man, great. Damn. He goes, I have some spots open. These are my prices. What were you thinking? And what day can you pick it up? Like he just like, and I was like, I was like, dude, great. I'll take this price, this size. And he goes, and I'm going to get him a Kid Muscle, a Mantoro Muscle, drawing. And I was like, I don't know if you ever seen the show, but it's, I don't know if you guys got it over there in Australia. And then he emailed back, again, he's like, dude, awesome choice. I for sure watched that show growing up. We did get it over here. I know what you're talking about. I'm going to kill it. So
nice.
I'm super stoked to see him. And I don't really get a say in what it's going to look like. It's his style or whatever. It's right. I want that drawn. So I was like, cool. So I'm going to pick up my art and hopefully be really happy with it. Or hate it.
I hope so too.
This is the worst thing ever. No, I'm pretty sure I love it.
That's going to be dope.
So I'm excited for that. So yeah, action figures that pick up that thing. Gave you some shirts. I don't think I'll pick up any figures, but yeah, man. I'm excited.
Change your mind.
I'm excited to see stuff. Maybe if I find a cool art book, like last time we were at Suck Anime, I found a really cool Motherfuckers art book, which is really cool. I finally got to open it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Not a great movie, but cool
art. Great art. But yeah, I really, really want to get in there. It's one of my favorite parts of the expo. Get to see all the vendors and all the cool stuff they have. So
you're one of my favorite parts of the expo, baby.
Stop it.
We've also been making a lot of jokes, but not really on the podcast. This has been a more serious podcast because it's late for me. I've had a headache all day.
Yeah, it's really funny.
We woke up really fucking early.
What's really funny is that we went to Yard House afterwards. We had, our half a yard of beer. You had a fucking margarita. We're feeling great, and literally in the elevator, you're just like, "Oh, we have to record the podcast." I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh no." And I think Sierra said that like she's posting stuff on Instagram and all the stuff we've been doing or whatever. And someone commented
tweeting.
Someone commented being like,
"This episode's gonna be
epic."
And I'm very sorry that it's not that epic.
Yeah,
but,
that's Trip's fault.
It's not my fault. It's the fault of Anime Expo for making me so tired, you guys.
Anyways, tomorrow we're gonna go to Anime Expo again, see more stuff. Report back again, go get some good food, talk about that.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Hey, let's talk about food for a minute. I finally got my curry last night. Holy shit. Every time I come here, there's a place called Curry House. It's like half Italian, half curry. I don't fucking know. Oh, shit, dog. It's so fucking good.
I got the pork katsu curry. I got the medium, because I was like, you know what? I've had spicy curry before. I don't want to risk it. I should have gone with the hot one. I tried Sierra's. That kick was the right kick. The medium was good. I wanted it to be a little spicier.
Yeah, I would like some kick in my keema curry, but what are you gonna do, baby? That was fucking delicious. And then today we went to the Yard House and had some good shit. And
vampire tacos.
Ugh, hell yeah. Just cheese and garlic and taco, and that's all I need.
I had some pokey tuna nachos, whatever.
Yeah, I had one of those. It's like a sushi
but a nacho.
Yeah, you get rid of the rice, add a corn tortilla chip.
It was great. So yeah, man, that's food talk. Sorry it hasn't been epic, but we're working on it. I guess we're done, right?
I'm so done.
This is bye from Juan.
I love you guys. This is bye from Chris. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
How about that, babies?
Hey, Trip, don't forget.
Just had hot water.